Hey, how are you? I'm Chris Robin, aka at Detroit Beastie, here with Team Rise or Fall to talk about college football Saturday, October the 23rd. 1 week away from Halloween, people. Noon Eastern kickoff, 14 games, and boy, oh boy, do I have some sweet stacks for us today. Hang here, and we'll get right into it. Hello again. Thanks for coming back. Once again, I'm Chris Robin, aka at Detroit Beastie, and as you can see, I have the pumpkin head behind me. We are 1 week away from Halloween, and you know what that means. We have some scary, spooky deals here at Team Rise or Fall. Look at the graphic: the pumpkins, the skeletons, the tombstones. All of it. It's only $9.99 a week, which breaks down to, I've said it a million times, $1.42 a day. Or you got a couple extra bucks in your pocket. You want a couple tournaments, cash games, whatever. It's $29.99 a month, which is just as fantastic. And oh, the Discord is free. You can come hang in there. You can tag me. You can tag anybody you want. And we are talking NHL DFS, NBA DFS, and absolutely NFL DFS. Anything daily fantasy sports, it's not off the table. People are talking golf and tennis DFS. I mean, it's insane. Team Rise or Fall is where you want to hitch your wagon to. I know I have, and here I am right in front of you, loving life and every little video and note that I take. So aside from all that, let's talk about the college football Saturday slate. As I said in the opening here, it's a 12 noon Eastern kickoff. There's 14 games, but as I always like to do, I know folks get overwhelmed with college football DFS because there's thousands of players. There's how many teams? Over 100 college football teams. There's a lot of players and kids to pluck and pick from here. So I always like to just cut down the slate completely. Let's talk about five, maybe six teams that I like to stack here, and I want to get into just a little bit of news and notes here. I keep trying different avenues out in these videos, and we'll see what we get. Sooner or later, I'm going to hit on something that everybody likes universally. That would be, dear God, hopefully that happens, but in today's day and age of social media, can never make anybody happy. So as long as I'm happy, as long as you're happy watching the video, then that's all that matters. Let's talk about some news and notes really quick, if I may. I was going to wait till the end of the video, but there are a few things I'd like to mention up front here, some big time games that I'm interested in. So when you look at the overall slate here, Mississippi LSU takes center stage. The over-under in this one is 77 points. It's by far and away the highest over-under. So you'd like to think we're going to stack Mississippi or LSU. But here's the thing. Matt Corral, the Ole Miss quarterback, he's kind of iffy. He's been banged up, and we don't know what the heck is going to happen to him. And next up, we look at Oklahoma. They're on the road to face Kansas, and Oklahoma's team point implied total is at 52.75, over 10 points higher than any other team that's playing today. And then you go through, like I said, Ole Miss, Cincinnati, Michigan, LSU. Those teams, those five teams, are highest in terms of point implied total, meaning they're projected at around, if you look at my notes, 57, 52 points. It's all drips and drabs here. And then when we scroll down here, and you'll be able to find all this stuff on the site, or you can just DM me directly. There's some run defenses that I want to target here: Kansas, Northwestern, Mississippi, Wake Forest, Illinois. And those six teams that I just named, those college teams that I just named, they give up over 160 rushing yards a game on the ground. So I know as I said, it's a lot to take in. It can be a little bit overwhelming, but I lay this out right for you where we all can get along here. So let's get right to it. I know you have a pen and a piece of paper in front of you, hopefully. You know I do. Here's my pen, my paper's right here. Let's talk about some kids that we want to stack this afternoon. So right off the bat, and again, I might glance over because I got my notes. I have already screenshotted it, and I will share it out as soon as this video is published. Let's talk about Caleb Williams in Oklahoma. He took over Spencer Rattler's spot, and I don't think he gives it back. I don't know why you would. So Caleb Williams on FanDuel, 12 grand, on DraftKings, $9,800. And again, we know chalk and fades here. Caleb is the chalkiest quarterback you can get to right now in all sports, college football, NFL football, and based on the matchup, why wouldn't he be chalky? This kid has looked fantastic, and they're playing against the Jayhawks, who, as I said, just give up points in yardage. It's like a sieve here. So adding on Williams, he's shown plenty to be a capable runner too, racking up 154 rushing yards and 2 scores on 13 carries on the ground last week. So to me, Caleb Williams, absolutely chalk, but sometimes, especially in college football, you got to eat the chalk, and we'll look around elsewhere. And one of my favorite college football plays this weekend, and as we get into it, the stacks here are immense with the Texas Tech here in, I believe they play in College Station, right? My apologies to any of you Texas Tech fans. I'm here in Michigan. I don't get down to Texas much, and I'm a Wolverine, so a Texas Tech, the Rambling Raiders, or whatever you guys are, my apologies. Probably didn't make it better by saying Raiding Ramblers. I don't even know if that's a thing. Henry Colombi, Texas Tech. He is, double check this, $8,100 on FanDuel, only $6,300 on DraftKings. Now, Texas Tech's offense isn't that high and mighty offense that it used to be, but his numbers, Henry's numbers, they're not like eye-popping. You're not like, oh my gosh, I got to get a piece of that here. But he's got a touchdown to interception ratio, 4-3, something along those lines. He's completing a strong 65% of his passes and about 9 yards an attempt per completion on that one. So as for the matchup, Texas Tech, team implied total of about 30 overall. I think it's like 29.8 something. So let's just round up, spin it to our advantage. Texas Tech's point implied total right at 30 points. And here in Kansas State, let's talk about them briefly. Their defense gives up 250 passing yards a game here. So in conference play, Kansas State gives up 271 passing yards a game. So I'm all in on Henry Colombi, and I got a pair of wide receivers for Texas Tech that I think would make for a fantastic stack, and we'll get that. Let's scroll down a little bit, and let's stop at on LSU. We know Coach Ozeron, he's done. He's not out yet. He's going to finish out the season, which is mind-blowing considering where LSU was a season or two ago. They won a national title, and all the studs they've produced in the NFL, and Coach O just couldn't survive it. But all that nonsense aside, I got a lot of LSU friends and people that are just in Louisiana in general, very respectable people. Let's talk about LSU's quarterback briefly. Max Johnson, LSU's at Mississippi. On FanDuel, Max is $9,300. On DraftKings, $7,200. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, the LSU, everybody's kind of showing up at their door to talk about their running game. But I want to get in on Max and the passing game briefly. This is the lowest salary Max has been, especially on DraftKings here. And it's time that we buy low at least for this week here. So I know Ole Miss, they're bad against the run, but again, I think they kind of tighten it up, and there will be some space for Max to throw the ball here. And again, Matt Corral, the Ole Miss stud quarterback, probably a high round draft pick, he's kind of on the fence right now. He's banged up a little bit, so I think LSU and Max Johnson can make some noise. Do I think they win the game? That's not up for me to decide. Do I think LSU and Max Johnson score some points? Absolutely, and that's what we're getting at. One more time, Max Johnson, $9,300 on FanDuel. On DraftKings, only $7,200. Let's talk about a few running backs, shall we? I know running back is like the heart and soul of a lot of DFS players and even seasonal fantasy football players. Let's talk about my boy Blake Corum, the University of Michigan. They're playing Northwestern here. Blake, $9,400 on FanDuel, only $7,100 on DraftKings. Now Northwestern, they give up a ton of rushing yardage a game, over 200, around 205, 0.8 rushing yards a game, and that's only second to Kansas State, which we just mentioned moments ago. So you want any and all pieces of the Michigan running backs that you can. Hassan Haskins is a great play. He's kind of remerged as, is he the lead back? Is it Blake? We can play both of them if you want. So as I said, Blake Corum, $9,400 on FanDuel, only $7,100 on DraftKings. And now if you want to pair, a stud running back or wide receiver with Caleb Williams, look no further than Kennedy Brooks, Oklahoma's running back. Kennedy is $9,200 on FanDuel, only $8,600 on DraftKings. Now, like Williams, as we said, he just took over last week. 54 carries, 318 yards over the last 5 games here. And excuse me, that was Brooks. And however, the last 2 games he's combined for 40. These two. Brooks and the quarterback. Every video I say it. I get ahead of myself. I got so much information I want to get out to you. It gets all jumbled up. So let me rephrase that. Over the last 2 games, this combination, 45 carries for 370 yards and 3 touchdowns. So to me, Kennedy Brooks, Caleb Williams, very safe cash game plays, and maybe a little bit of sprinkling in GPPs, and we'll see what we get. Let's move down the list really quick. Henry Parrish, Ole Miss, their running back, $6,400 on FanDuel, only $5,300 on DraftKings. Ole Miss playing LSU, as I said, and with or without Matt Corral, it's up to Henry Parrish to kind of grab this ball and run with it. So I love Henry Parrish, as I said, $6,400 on FanDuel, only. Double check that for you, $5,300 on DraftKings. Now, when we get to the wide receivers, this is what I'm talking about. The Texas Tech, these 2 guys, I think we can play in unison with Henry Colombi, the Texas Tech quarterback here. Kalen Grieger and Eric Ezukanbana. I believe I'm not even going to try to repeat that. I think I did a good job the first time around. Kalen and Eric, let's just keep it at that. Kalen, $7,600 on FanDuel, only $5,900 on DraftKings. And then Eric Ezukanbana, damn good, I think, $8,200 on FanDuel, only $6,500 on DraftKings. I'm very interested in this Texas Tech game, as I said. So Grieger, he saw his target count dip the last 4 weeks after racking up about 17 or so the previous 2 games, still averaging 11 yards per target and catching nearly 75% of the targets in his realm, right? Targets on the hands or jersey, however you want to put it. Kansas State, they're tough against the run, so look for Texas Tech, Henry and Kalen and Eric to really take advantage in the air here. Absolutely a great stack, and at the end of the video, as I normally do, I'll mention my favorite stacks, and spoiler alert, Texas Tech is one of them. Let's scroll down the list here. David Bell, obviously he's on my list, but he's not on the FanDuel main slate. David Bell, stud, Purdue's playing in Wisconsin, so it's a DraftKings only kind of special. David Bell, only $7,600 on DraftKings. Let's talk about Northwestern wide receiver really quick. Stephon Robinson, Northwestern, they're playing in Ann Arbor. Robinson, $6,400 on FanDuel, only $5,500 on DraftKings. And then we can throw in a couple Oklahoma State wide receivers. They get no respect, and a lot of folks on social media, they're Oklahoma State OK State fans, and they're just not getting the love and the respect that they deserve. So I'm here to show a little love to OK State in this video. Tay Martin and Rashad Owens. Tay, $7,800 on FanDuel, only $6,900 on DraftKings. And then Rashad Owens, Oklahoma State, plays in Iowa State this weekend. Rashad, $6,100 on FanDuel, only $3,800 on DraftKings. So to put this thing in a nice little bow for you, my top stack of the day this Saturday, it's Texas Tech, Henry Colombi, Kalen Grieger, and as I said, Eric Ezukanbana here. And I also love the idea of getting in on this Ohio State at Indiana game. Another game, I didn't mention any players from this, but you can write this down and kind of mix and match. If you're in a tough spot, you need a cheap play, look at Indiana. Ohio State's minus 19 points in this one. Over under Ohio State at Indiana, over under 60.5 points. I think that Ohio, I dislike Ohio State so much. I keep calling them, crazy names because I dislike them so much. Ohio State wins this one 45, but I think Indiana puts up 21, 28 points. They always play Ohio State big time. So if you're in a pinch, you need some cheap plays, look no further than the Indiana Hoosiers, who I said put up dang near 30 points in this one. Oklahoma at Kansas State, you're going to want to stack Oklahoma. And then a couple other games, Texas Tech, as I said, they're getting a point, which is wild to me, but the over-under in that one is 60.5 points here. So that's why I'm kind of honing in on that game. 2 more, I think. Again, this is just if you're in a pinch. You need some quick hits here of players. Look at the UCLA at Oregon game. Over-unders over 60 points here. Minnesota and Maryland, another one. Over-under 54.5. So if you need some help and you're like, which game do I turn to? Look at these games. So I appreciate you so much. College football has been unbelievably prosperous for me and for all of you. These videos have been outstanding. I love doing these. I could broadcast all night and day, and I'm pretty sure you would listen and read all my stuff night and day. We're not there yet. Let's start slow. I don't like to rush into anything. I'm not going to buy you any of you a ring just yet, but we'll slow play it through the season. So before you split, make sure you go to YouTube, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Everybody's so good at doing that. What did I do that you like? What did I do that you dislike? Let me know. I'm not fragile enough. I can take it like a man. You tell me where I need to improve or what I need to do more of. So I can't thank you enough. Again, make sure you go to teamriseorfall. Look at the graphic. We're in prime Halloween time. $9.99 a week. Only like $1.40 something a day. That's easy peasy. So thank you so much. And let's meet again this time on Sunday night for the football game. Until then, enjoy the weekend and let's kick some college football ass.